the T, the extra effort, and it is that time every week, Transformational Tuesday. I'm excited to come to you today with this topic that I've talked about a lot over time, but I truly believe that it's worth revisiting because it's something that just kind of sticks with us, gnaws at us, lingers, and can truly cripple our journey to whatever seat at the table that we aspire to achieve. And that is the aspect of fear. You know, fear is an interesting dynamic. At least I find it interesting. I mean, it can show up as just true, all encompassing anxiety, where you're sweating, you lose your breath, you almost feel paralyzed. It can show up in that fashion. It can also show up as just that little voice in the back of your head that says, oh, you're not ready. Oh, you might want to rethink whether or not you should raise your hand, or I probably should take another training course. You know, it could just be that gnawing little voice in the back of our heads that reappears on a regular basis. May not feel like a big deal, but in the end, it really is, because it holds us back. And it's very, very real. It's very real. Fear within our careers, especially women, it's very real. And there's certain areas that cause us to have the challenges we have with fear. One of them I would offer to you would be that we think failure, we immediately look towards failure and saying, if I do anything that is a mistake, anything that is wrong, I just cannot allow that to happen. And that instills fear because we believe for some reason that those mistakes, those failures are permanent, that there's no way around to the other side of making a mistake. Failure will, in some of our minds at some point in time, and I know I've had this, will define who we are for the rest of our career. And no matter how many times people tell us it's exactly the opposite, we can't get on the other side of that. It just pops up continuously in our head that I can't make a mistake. And if I do, I'm done. I'm toast. It doesn't matter. You know, everybody will remember that I didn't have that right answer, or that I provided the wrong data, or that I stood up in front of a group of people and screwed up my presentation. You know, that is what we hang on to. And Wendy, who's watching me on Facebook, she's absolutely right. She just popped in the comments, when I'm confident, I achieve outstanding results. Absolutely. It's rooted in our confidence and our ability to do well. So when we have high confidence, fear is not an issue. It's when that confidence is questionable, then fear arises. And I would offer to Wendy and everybody else that's watching this, whether live or on the replay, you still can have outstanding performance even when you make a mistake, because there's a wealth of learning that takes place. So don't necessarily couple achieving high results with high confidence and therefore I'm successful, because success is also in how you learn, grow, and handle mistakes and failures. So I love Wendy's comment that she put in there, because I want to make sure that we make sure we attach the right definitions to what success looks like. And that's the other area that causes us a bit of fear, is that we believe success is linear. Success it's linear. There is only one way, and the progression has to be straight and it has to be consistent. But I would offer to you that even some deviations along the path, if I showed you my career journey, I mean, you would be like, what the world, Linda? What the world? Because I didn't always take a step forward. There were times when I took a step back, but that didn't translate to my inability. It didn't translate to a failure. It didn't translate to a lack of success. There were benefits from going in some people's backwards. There were benefits from taking lateral moves. And Terry Lynn's on Facebook as well, watching live, and she mentions growth mindset. Yes, it is the mindset. And it is about growth, every aspect of it, that as women, we can't be afraid of on this career journey. We cannot be afraid of it at all. The other area I would offer to you is when we experience failures, when we experience challenges, rather than them instilling fear in us, taking Terry Lynn's comment that she put in Facebook, let's think about it as how can we grow from that? Not allowing that failure, that mistake to set us back, and then fear arises that cripples us. No, what can we learn? How can we grow and therefore be better in the next opportunity that we have from that mistake, from that failure? Fear is it's unbelievably powerful, unbelievably powerful. And the key is to take that fear, and those of you that have been following me for a while know that I define fear as false evidence appearing real. Taking that false evidence and flipping the script on it and leveraging it as power for us, because there's a source of power in it, rather than allowing it to shrink us and causing us to hide behind and therefore think we are not worth it. We are definitely not better than, we will never be, which tends to start, that negative self-talk tends to start creeping in when we allow fear to define ourselves. It can paralyze us and cripple us. But we flip that script and realize that it is false evidence, then we can take control. We can leverage it to our ability. And before I close this, I'm going to give you one other area that I know I have had in my career, and I know people have experienced it that I've worked with. And that is, at times, we cause the fear in ourselves. We cause the fear in ourselves. And I'm going to give you a quote that I absolutely love. It's from Marianne Williamson. And I know you've heard this before, but I'm going to give you this quote. Our deepest fear is not that we are inadequate. Our deepest fear is that we are powerful beyond measure. It is our light, not our darkness, that most frightens us. So I would offer to you, especially the women that are listening and watching this, 9 times out of 10, your fear is not the failure. Your fear is not the mistake. Your fear is that you are completely awesome, and that you are powerful, and that you are worthy, and that your authentic self is enough. And at times we're like, whoa, wait a minute. Is that real? Can I handle that? And that is just like Marianne Williamson said, it is our light, not our darkness, that most frightens us. The extent of our capability can be huge. It can be magnificent in measure. And that at times can cause us fear that stifles. But I'm here to tell you, when you can look in the mirror and truly believe in that light, believe in everything that you bring to the table, every piece of your worthiness in your authentic self, and walk in that truth, oh my gosh, there's nothing that can stop you. There's nothing that can stop you. Nothing. Irrespective of the powers that be, the biases that exist, the unconscious and conscious, both of those biases, the roadblocks, the landmines other people try to put in our pathway. Truly, when you connect to the light, to the value, to the worth, fear becomes a non-issue. You stand completely in the high confidence that Wendy talked about. You move forward towards fear. Love that, Terry Lynn. Move towards the fear that you once had and kill it so that you can then get that seat at the table. Look, I'm going to tell you, your girl right here did not have this level of confidence when I started in my career. Far from it. Far from it. But I had to go towards the fear, like Terry Lynn talked about. I had to grow, to learn, to build the confidence that Wendy mentioned in her comment, so that I could look in the mirror and see that worth and value. Because there was at one time, like Marianne Williamson said, I was more focused on the darkness than the light, because I was thinking, wait a minute, am I really that good? Is that really possible? And when I connected to it, embraced it, and stood in it, well, the rest is history. And I'm in the seat that I have today. So I would offer you, if you're for some reason having the experience that fear is crippling you and your ladder climb is a struggle because of it, think about these areas that I talked about. Success is not linear. Taking lateral moves or taking a step back at times is not a bad thing. Failure's not permanent. They are temporary lessons in order to instill growth and allow you to shift your mindset. Don't hide from failures as well. Acknowledge it, learn from it, grow. As Terry Lynn shared, grow from it. And then last but not least, grab to that light. Be completely all in to the value that you bring. Totally all in, and walk in it. So I'll leave you with that until next time. Talk to you next week.